Hey everyone, Retna here. I just wanted to show you something I've been working on. It's a project management tool for game devs. Something like Trello, but it's just a little bit more like milestone based and yeah, I don't know, premium. It's got kind of the premium experience, but it's free. So I'll show you it here now.
All right, hey everyone. So here we are inside our program. There's no name for it yet, but this is what it's going to look like when you first get in. You can make your own little project down here on the bottom left, and just go ahead and add that. It should look pretty plain, pretty minimal, which is what I was after. You can go ahead and make sprint task here just on your own if you want, if you just want like a minimal one. Otherwise, the top left panel here is where you want to go to set your start and end dates for your project, which will give you a timeline um, and then a description. The goal here was to make sure that my projects get done, so I have to set like a start and end date, otherwise they just never finish. So here in the top middle section, you've got your timeline toggle with your sprint that you can move around. Hold down control here and you can add more sprints and move those around um, with your mouse. If you don't want to see the timeline, you can toggle it off and go through and just navigate this way. So here you get to edit your sprints themselves. So this is where you want to be putting in details like how many days it's going to take, and then the description. The start date changes as you move it around in the timeline as well. So um, I just wanted to keep it there just in case you wanted to see when it first starts. So on each sprint you get like your normal agile Trello style thing where you can add a to do and doing and done. Um, and then you can add multiple of these. I was just looking at the top right there where you're getting motivational quotes every so often. So we'll just add a few tasks here. And then each task you can move up and down the line just like you would expect. And then a percentage of your project gets done down the bottom. So it's like a progress leveling bar. And then up the top left, we've got some stats, which will keep track of like what you've done. So you get high scores of how like the most tasks finished on one day, that sort of thing. And it should all update live. Each task you can click into them, and then you can write down some notes about it. I just wanted to make this more streamlined than some of the other Trello ones, where you have to like click through um, description areas and they take up the whole screen. So this way you can edit multiple at once, turn one off and like compare, see if someone else has written notes or something is kind of the idea. You can edit the name there also. Um, and what am I going to show here? I can't remember. This is the post recording. Control click to add more sprints looks like what I'm doing here. And then the zooming feature, just so you can look down at 1 week or something at a time. Um, and then you're able to move these sprints around. If you want to sort of organize your sprints, you can drag it down to a temporary bar, which will be the green ones. Um, and you can shuffle them around. If you hold shift and stuff, shift, it will click to your task on your left. There's also a back burner button here, so you can put things on the back burner. I don't recommend, well, like if you assign yourself a task, you should try and finish it, which is the goal. So, but otherwise, you can still edit things in the back burner, and you can click onto a sprint and then uh, assign it to that sprint that you selected on. And everything gets saved here. So it's kind of a way to pass around tasks if you're doing timelines per person working on the project. Um, but I kind of, yeah, I don't know. It works, but the way I set this up was to not really have anyone in like to be assigned on a task. I found that in Trello before assignees and stuff, I don't know, it takes a lot of time and yeah, no one wants to be assigned a task anyway. Here we've got like a milestone section, which is kind of important for our game dev stuff, for like going to overseas conventions or like showing stuff off. So I've just put one here as a market day just for an example. And that way you know that you're coming up to a day. So you don't want to be doing a task on the date, right? So you want to make sure you got two tasks or you got a before and after. Here you can add more timelines, and you still got the functionality to add more temporary lines. There's a setting. I'll show you the settings here soon, but it will allow you to set the maximum amount of rows that you can have. Um, and then up the top right here is your little reminders section. This is kind of good if you're like middle of game dev and you're like, oh, remind me to fix this thing later. So you can set yourself a reminder. During the recording of this, I kind of didn't know what to do for a minute, so I was opening up menus and whatnot. But I think eventually I go up to the. Oh yeah, I'm just showing you that the reminders and settings there too, so you can edit that later if you feel like, oh, actually remind me again, or you just make a new one. But yeah, up on the top left here shows like the progress of your project, so how many days you've been working at it. You get some motivational quotes to keep you happy. And then there's like a whole bunch of like stats that like the most tasks done in one day. This one's your average task per day. Oh, there you go. There's your reminder to go outside. Good idea. Um, and it just sticks on your screen until you click it away. So it's kind of it gives you some sort of user interaction to make sure you do see it right. You got like your streak, your sort of what's that thing? The that language learning app. I forgot. Duolingo. Yeah, those streaks. Um, and you got a few more stats here. So these are ones that I thought were kind of fun for now. I'm supposed to put in one more here for your burnout. Oh, your your longest back burner tasks and stuff like that. So you can turn those off and on. There's your reminders section here in the settings. And here is some settings in the timeline. So you can add this functionality to highlight your selected tasks. So that's kind of neat just to make it more, you know, in your face a bit. You can make those bigger or smaller. Each timeline you can, I didn't rename them here, but I just did the coloring. But you can rename them where it says the T1, T2 to your own names task. Got a few things like if you want to go crazy and change all your colors of your timeline, you might as well. These are your progress bar colors. You see them there in these sprint buttons. We'll see them here in just a second, and those go towards your completed and done. Those colors there. So that's per timeline. So and then you got a default to set them back to default button there. Here we have how many um, sprints to showcase here on this sprint navigation bar. This is their timeline navigation bar. So I was just adding a few more to the timeline here. I think I go back and I make sure I can see it before I set it. And so this is showing you that, yeah, you can set those more or less to however many you want. You got your default sprint duration days. So if you think you're going to be doing a day by day sprint task, or you want to keep it to like a week at a time or something, you can just set that by default. And over here, what do we got? Your reminders, stats, and all that stuff. I'll just show you one more time here. You can set up a reminder. This will give you a warning if you don't set a date or time. So you know you should be in the right ballpark. There are some funny cases where you can set it earlier than your actual time, but that is what it is. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. I'll just come back and I'll give you a quick summary of what I was thinking. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Also, you got multiple projects you can make, and they're all like in their own state, you know. So you can have different colors and all that good stuff. All right. Cool.
So yeah, sorry about the grainy video. It's kind of late, and I'm using the iPad. But yeah, that's pretty much the program I've been working on the past couple of days. I think it's got all the features that I like and need. Like, it's simple yet useful, which is kind of what I was hoping for from this project. If you guys wanted to have a go, send a message down below, and I will consider putting it out. I'm not too sure. I'm not fussed about putting a paywall up or anything for it. I think it would just be good for people to use. Everything's just saved locally, so there's no internet required for any of this stuff. Yeah, hopefully it's fun. Might add more fun features, more fun stats. If you guys got any stats that you would like to collect through your guys' projects, let me know, and yeah, I'll try to add those. Other than that, I think you get the gist of it. All right, catch up, bye.